So welcome back everybody to the Tool Shed. This is where I keep my tools that I use in my own life and in the lives of the people I guide, the people I love, my brothers in this lifetime. These are transformative tools. They're oftentimes simple, not all of them, but most of them. And this one is as simple as it gets. And yet simple, don't mistake for simplistic. Just because it's easy to understand and deploy doesn't mean it's not effective. It's oftentimes the most effective tool that I have in my shed. So all you need for this one is a finger. So take a finger, any one. You got 10, or maybe you lost a couple in the shed, I don't know, but take one. And I want you now to point to the sky. All right? Bear with me, guys. Come on. Point to the floor. Right? Now take your magical finger, and with this transformative finger exercise, point to yourself. Now I want you to look and see where you're pointing. Now you might be pointing here. There's maybe 5% of the guys that I work with that will do this. Maybe you do this. There's always like one nudnik, as we say in Yiddish, pain in the ass in the audience when I've done this in groups that does this and they know where we're going. Excuse me. But 94% of the population, 94% of the people, if they're not thinking it through and they just react, they point here. What are they pointing at? What am I pointing at? What are you pointing at? And what's the point? So the point is that when all is said and done, we know as human beings and as men, our limited time here on planet Earth in this lifetime isn't about what we do, right? In the shed or out in the world or in our job or however you want to define doing. As it's been said, I think Wayne Dyer said it, we're not human doings, we're human beings. And so often we think of ourselves as this is who I am. This is right. What I do is who I am. Or our feet. Not that you're going to point to your feet, but where I go, what I experience. That's who I am. Or how much I know, how smart I am. And this is the big one that gets most of the guys I know in trouble. This one and this one. But this one is I'm right. I know I'm right. It makes sense. And a good percentage of the conflicts that when I work with a man come down to being right, but not being in their heart. I know I'm an Enneagram 8, so that's the challenger. It's one of the hardest types to get into here. I'm much more about here, some about here, but very little about here. Heart, feeling, emotions, accessing it. And just because you cry easily at a Hallmark commercial doesn't mean that that's what we're talking about. That can mean emotion or feeling, but we're talking about something deeper. Why do we point here? Because at the end of the day, we know that our lives come down to how much or how little we are able to access this part of our being, how much or how little we've given to our wife or to our kids or to our friends or our community. Maybe we show up with our feet. Maybe we show up and we talk in these chairs behind me with our spouse and some marital counseling. But so often I have to tell guys, and they know our sign language, to go like this. Grab your finger and move. It's so hard for me. Move it down to my heart. Perfect example. I go home the other day. My wife, Ariella, walk in the door and she's got a list of things that she was pissed off about, most of which weren't me. One of which was, but instead of listening, because I was tired just like you, instead of really not just hearing her, but listening and receiving what she was saying, I responded back with this and started to counter argue each and every one. I became the sort of the defense attorney. I felt I was being prosecuted, and I was right if you want to talk about on paper, if you want to talk about 2 + 2 = 4, but how come if I was right, I ended up in the doghouse that night? I felt like Fred Flintstone, right? Being thrown out and trying to get back into the window, through the window. Bottom line, I needed to go like this. Don't do it. Do what you talk to your men about. Do what you talk to people about who are making this mistake, and go from your head to your heart. All I had to do was imagine the trash can, I was once told. Imaginary, and I'm standing there, and I should have said, uh-huh, uh-huh. Is there anything else? Sincerely, not condescendingly. Is there anything else? That one hurts. Is there anything else? It sounds like you had a really rough day, and I totally hear you, and I can imagine how hard that is. Can I share with you what I'm feeling right now? I'm feeling attacked. I'm feeling like I'm responsible for all 10 of those punch list items when only one of them is mine and 9 of them were other people's. And I'm happy to do it. But, that's what I'm feeling right now. Ariella would have softened. Ariella would have heard me. We would have been in a dialogue, not a two-way monologue. And it all could have happened with the simple point to yourself exercise. If I can just go from here or from here, stop talking and stop thinking and get into your heart, how many of your life's challenges would soften? How many of them would go away if you just saw that you just got to take out the garbage can and let her or whoever's across from you verbally and emotionally throw up. And then you take the garbage can and you tie it up and you add it to the to-do list of the other 10 items that she has for you. And you don't say a word about it. You don't tell her what you're doing. This is our little secret. You don't do it from any other place. Then I want to make the shift from here to here. It's going to take a moment. It's going to take a minute. I'm tired. I just walked in that door. But this will help you. Just a simple little exercise before you unlock the door, right? Just go like this. Hey, be reminded me. I'm really worked up. I'm really intense. I'm really pissed off. I'm really in my head. I need to take a moment and just go like this from your head to your heart. These little simple gestures, they anchor the experience. So I don't want this just to be conceptual. Actually do the thing before you're in the conversation, or take a moment, gather your breath if you're being attacked. Say, excuse me, I'll be right back. Go to the bathroom. Okay, now I'm better prepared. And you go back out there. Thanks to this one little exercise, I think you could save some marriages. You could save relationships, but at the very least, you stop living in reaction, right? That's our work here. And choose our response to our circumstances, choose our response to our life. That is the finger pointing exercise. That is the tool for the day. Check it out, use it. You don't even have to return it to this tool shed. It's yours. I will see you in the next set of tools or wherever we meet. Until then, as I always say, defy your number, defy that reaction, and live your response. And how do you do that? By using these tools.